Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to show you how Bulk Mockup can really speed up your mockup creation. It's a really cool tool, and I've talked a lot about it on the podcast, talked a lot about it in other settings. We talked a lot about it on the Print on Demand uh, Foundations Challenge and how to use that in using that with Wasabi and links that kind of they're static, and you can change just a couple of numbers in the URL and it changes what you're actually seeing. So I wanted to go over Bulk Mockup. I've got it installed on this browser right here, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to create Bulk Mockup is going to use three folders. It's going to use your Photoshop template folder, and I've just put these on my desktop. And let me see if I can drag this over here real quick. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so I've got this little Bulk Mockup tutorial folder that I created for this video, and you're going to have your Mockups folder or your PSD, and you can name this whatever you want, but I just made it a Mockups folder. And then you're going to have a design folder, and I just downloaded these really quickly from Creative Fabrica, just as an example. I have 8 in here, and I've named them the actual design IDs in my example, just so you guys could see kind of how that works. And then you have an export folder, which it's empty because there's nothing been exported. So if we go back to Bulk Mockup, we're going to tell it where the PSD templates folder is. And that's going to be in this one. That's where the templates are. You can see there's 2 templates in here. So you can actually do 2 at a time, which is really cool. And to get this whole thing up, you're going to open up one of these templates. Doesn't matter which one, just one of these templates that is in your mockup folder. And then it'll give you the ability to do the things that I'm doing now. So now I'm going to tell it where my design folder is. And my designs are all right here. And then I'm going to tell it where I want it to export. And that export folder is right here. Okay. Once I've got that done, I can come over here to settings, and I can move the design up or to the side or wherever. I like where this works is in the middle. The PSD template itself, I've told it to export the final file at 2000 pixels on its longest side. So this is going to work pretty much anywhere. You could do 2500, or if you're doing Etsy, if you're doing Square, you get the idea. But that's how large the file is going to be when I export it, and I'm going to do it in 72 DPI because that's pretty good for most websites and online viewing. I'm not going to print this, so I don't need 300 DPI. Export. This is really interesting because you can create your own pattern for how you want this to work. And this is the kind of cool thing. So a lot of times I'll do the mockup file. So you see mockup 1, and down here is mockup 2, because in my folder that I showed you a second ago, in my mockups, I have mockup 1 and mockup 2, and that's what it's pulling from. Then I'm going to use my design file name, and those are the designs that I showed you in this folder. And it's just showing you a preview of what it's going to look like. And then you can do a suffix at the end. And so LP2, for example, if I'm doing these on Amazon, they can't be my first one because they don't have a transparent white background, but maybe I want to do these as my second image on Amazon. So I'm going to say I want this to be dash LP2, listing image 2, or mock 2, or something like that. Okay. So that's what it's going to look like when the output. And like I said before, I've got these as exporting as PNGs. If I wanted to use this to create print files, let's say I'm moving from one provider to another, and all of my print files are now the wrong size, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is so annoying. I can create a template on Photoshop that's just a blank template that's the right size, create a smart mockup all the way around the whole thing, and then export it as a PNG with the transparent background and resize all of my designs for my print files if I wanted to do that. So once you've got your naming schema here, you can move this around however you want. Preferences is just, you can save that whole thing as a template. Once I've got that, I'm going to go back to the main tab here, and then I'm going to start generating. And now Photoshop's going to do its thing. It's just going to start resizing and putting all of those designs on everything that I've got, both of those mock-ups that I just had. So we can go ahead and we can take a look right here. Oh, don't get mad at me. And in the export file, you can see it's starting to put them in here, and it's just dropping them in there in the JPEG form with that same suffix. And there's my mockup, there's my design, there's the actual file name. And so now I have all of these in the mockup 1 and the mockup 2. So you can see these. I'm just going to use preview here. You can see they change, and they are all done. And you saw how fast that took. I think it's done, and it was like 30 seconds. So here's the mockup 2 that I have with the different designs on that as well. And that's a brief overview of the power of Bulk Mockup and how quickly it can do so many different things for your business.